I followed these elk moose tracks, or we should call it elk over here, I guess, but this people in the States they recognize it as moose. It's basically the same animal, but originally in the Scandinavia, Nordic countries, it's called elk, alg in Swedish, I believe, and that's where the word comes from. But anyway, I was following those tracks and I found these. These are so cool. I believe these are resting sites of two mooses. There's one and there's another one, and they have dug up this sort of hole in the snow. It's been extremely cold. We had a week ago about minus 30 degree temperatures, so these are relatively fresh tracks, probably a day or two old, and it just makes me excited to see these tracks in the nature. They always they just get my blood flowing and I get excited. It's so cool. These are not tracks by big moose, obviously most likely last year's cubs, so relatively small, but still you can see the size. I'm a grown-up man and I can easily fit over here, and over here probably has kept its front leg, because here is the sort of, looks like a bone basically, this sort of shape over here, and yeah, it's like a bed. It's like an ice flat snow bed, relatively comfortable. I almost continued my way deeper into the forest, but then I realized that this might not actually be that bad of a spot for a little lunch over here and to set up my tarp, because the mooses have actually saved a lot of work for me. So I think I'm just gonna use this same spot and do my fire over here and do my cooking over here, a little shelter. I ran into a problem, a little problem, but not too bad. As you can see, my ridge line is too short. It should be at least 2 meters longer, but it's not. But luckily I have some extra rope, so I'm just gonna improvise and attach another smaller piece of a rope at the end, so I can finish this up. It would be a lot nicer to practice these knots at home, not in the minus 20 Celsius forest. But I always forget this. This is a bit trickier knot. Alright, there it is. A bit rusty, but it works like a dream. You might actually think that this is a lousy setup, and it is for a survival situation, but this is not that. This is just me cooking soon some delicious hamburgers and enjoying the sunset. So I was prepared for that. I want to have as much space over here as I can, so that's why I don't really use this part for ground sheet. I actually brought more canvas with me for that reason alone. I have a kind of like a thermal blanket over here, and then I have some traditional tarp material. I also did not attach the snow pegs properly because, as I mentioned, it's not a survival situation, it's not windy, and the way I put them just works fine. And I always say, work smarter, not harder. And that sometimes means being a little bit lazy. If the situation doesn't require any extra work, then just don't do it. I learned that as a young kid working gardening. So I've always kind of maintained that way of looking at things. And I feel that especially outdoors, it truly makes sense. There's so many things that you can do the harder way, but the smarter way usually is the better way. And especially during extreme conditions, in cold situations and stuff like that, that extra energy that you save up working smarter can make a difference. Oh yeah. Okay, now we need to go and find some firewood to get the fire going. think I have a little beverage over here. Pepsi. Nothing beats it. I just hope this isn't frozen. Yeah, it's too cold. Well, I'll keep it. You know, when you open up a can of soda, which is too cold, and it's not frozen until you open it up, and then it freezes up, and that's what happened with that. I keep it over there a little while, so maybe it'll heat up. But I knew it was gonna be very hard to get the fire going because I only used wood from the forest. This is a spruce tree that fell down, I think last year or year before that. Anyway, it's been like, I think it died. Yeah, I think 2 years ago it was already dead, and last year it fell down. So I knew it was relatively good for firewood, but obviously it's still very wet, and yeah, so it's been tricky to get the fire going. But I was finally able to somewhat make a good fire, and right now I have all the logs circling the fire, so I hope they dry up. But you know, I don't need any more than that. I only need to get a good fire going, and then with the hot coals I'm gonna put the stone on top of the hot coals after that and cook my dinner. I'm getting hungry already, but hey, let's see the time. It's only 2 o'clock, so I still have hour 30 minutes left of sunlight, and after that it's gonna be sunset, but it's not cloudy. So, and it's full moon, by the way, extremely beautiful full moon. As I was driving this morning, I was mesmerized by that huge full moon that was on the horizon, same time as sun was rising. So it's so smoky over here. But it was so beautiful. And last night as well, I was at the cabin, and the full moon was because there's no artificial lights. When I turn off the lights, it's completely dark. Only the natural light stays. And as it was night, the full moon was just painting the whole yard and the forests. And from the very, very far distance, I could hear Ural owl hooting, and I love that sound. It's so beautiful, and it's the first sign of spring, so it makes me truly happy. I can't wait for summer. Oh man, it's fun. It's kind of silly to do this in a temperature like this, but I don't care. It's all right. Ooh, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, I am so hungry. I'm starving. We need to eat fast because it's so cold. Oh my god. Kind of ridiculous. Ah, but it's good.